All right. Hello, Housing Design 12. It's Friday, April 17th. Just gonna quickly talk you through your next module and the lesson that goes along with it. So right here on my screen, you're gonna see Housing Styles module. So if you click on that and we go to our instructions, you're gonna see the following content. So first thing I'm asking you to do is review the textbook chapter right here, this PDF on housing styles. I'll open that up for you. So you can see you go through, there's 16 pages. You do not need to read the entire thing front to back, but I would definitely skim through it and become familiar with it for this module. The next thing I would do, or you're going to want to do, is watch this video, which is what I'm doing right now, and read these slides here. I'm actually going to present them here in just a minute. So if you are, want somebody to read through them with you, just stay tuned to this video. I've also provided you with it's about a 2-minute long YouTube video clip of different house styles, so you can check that out, and that'll kind of help explain some of them as well. And once you've done these 3 things, you're ready to move on to the 2 quizzes that I provided. So the first one here is this one here, the 9.1. It's called House Styles. Click on that, and this is what it looks like. What I'm asking you to do is pop your name in there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take these addresses, like 69 Ports Landing, Port Williams, search it up in Google, and go to the street view. If you go to the street view, we're going to see this house right here. And what I want you to do is identify this house style based on what you've learned from the chapter. So you got a drop down menu, you can choose the style and go through them. So each one of them you're going to do, this one here, it's actually near my parents' house. Go to this one, do the street view, and it's this house, and it's actually this house right here, and it's hard to see. You can move around a little bit if you need to, but this should be all you need to figure out which type of house this is. And once you read the chapter, you'll see that. So if you have any questions about that quiz, you can certainly ask me, but that's the idea. You're just going to copy them and paste them in and search them up. Okay, so that's your first thing. That's number 4. That's that house styles quiz. Then for 1 additional point to round it out to 10 points, what I want you to do is take a picture of a house in your neighborhood and upload it as part of your assignment, and in the in your description of it or whatever, make sure you tell me what style of house it is, and just kind of prove to me that you can do this out in the wild. And then for 12 more points, there's one more quiz called Home Design. You can open this one up. It's the same idea. These are actual screen grabs from the textbook, and you've got a drop-down list here of house styles, and you just have to match them. So you're going to notice that I say right here, identify the style from the textbook. In other words, open up this PDF, and have them side by side on your screen so that you can kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, cheat. So for example, it says right here, Dutch Colonial with this style. So when we go back to our quiz, we should be able to find Dutch Colonial, right? There should be no reason why everybody doesn't get 100% on this. Just to show me that you went through the textbook. All right. So those are your 3 marked elements. 9 points for the house styles quiz, 1 point for taking a picture of a house in your neighborhood, and then 12 points for the home designs quiz. All right. So you do those 3 things, that makes up your 22 points. So if you're comfortable with that and you want to go ahead and start doing it, go right ahead. It's due on there it is, April 24th, a week from today. So you got 1 week to do those 3 things. And if you want to stay tuned and stay on this, I'm going to quickly go through the Google Slides. If not, you can stop watching now. All right. So this is chapter 24. Let me just go ahead and fix that in here right now. Exterior design. So in my presentation, what I would have taught the class, I briefly just talk about these different sort of the key home designs. This is not all of them. The textbook does all of them, but I just wanted to touch on the main ones. So looking through typical house designs, and I try to focus on ones you'd find in the Valley or in Nova Scotia. So salt box homes are traditional New England style. They have a pitched roof. Usually they're 1 or 2 stories. Um, but typically like this, you see that long roof in the back like that. So it tapers off on one side. Sometimes it's flipped around, so that part is actually the part that faces forward. But either way, you've got 2 stories here. No dormers. Dormers are those things that stick off the roof. No dormers, like a central chimney. Um, yeah, and sort of like a typical size window, not too big, not giant bay windows or anything like that. No, nothing. It's called a salt box because there's nothing sort of bulging out from the sides or anything. It's sort of constrained in its dimensions. A Cape Cod, sort of similar in a lot of ways, except it's got these dormers. So typically, Cape Cod has 2 or 3 dormers on top. Like here, you see 2. Here, you see 3. It can have a carport. It can have a garage attached. It can have sort of an overhang like this. It can have pillars, but ultimately, if it's got dormers and a roof that tapers down like this, that's a Cape Cod. So as it says here, low, broad, single-story frame building with a moderately steep, pitched gabled roof, large central chimney, and very little ornamentation. So when they say ornamentation, they're talking about um, like sort of fancy decorations. We'll see the opposite of that here coming up. A Cape Ann is very similar to a Cape Cod, right? Except it's got the gambrel roof, which means that it's got sort of like this barn-style roof, all right? It's still got dormers, dormer, 1, 2, 3, that kind of thing. Central chimney, sort of, and a low roof. And again, this style was to protect houses from wind and weather in rough areas. So Georgian homes, side gabled or hipped roofs. So you see, like that's the hipped roof right there on the sides. Stone or brick walls. A transom over the paneled front door. So transom is this thing right here. That's a transom. And a pediment or crown and pilasters at front entry. So those are pillars, obviously. And so that's a key style. So any movie or any home you see, typically in the southern United States, there are a lot of Georgian homes, or um, Acadia University has some Georgian style buildings on its campus, things like that. So that's where you're going to find Georgian homes. They're very official, uh, very sort of decorative looking, formal looking. All right, Tudor homes are have this sort of exterior framing style, characterized by their steeply pitched gable roofs, playfully elaborate masonry chimneys. So the chimneys are typically elaborate. Embellished doorways. So usually they have like big, ridiculous doorways. Um, Groupings of windows like this or like this. And then the half timbering. That's where it looks like the wood frame of the house is sticking out the side. So if you were to build one of these today, you probably, I mean, this is just superficial. It's just for appearances. It's not real, but it gives the appearance of that the framing of the house is actually sticking out. And then the siding is stucco. It's not like vinyl or wood paneling or anything like that, or shingles. It's stucco. Yeah, and there you go, or brick, You see brick down here too. All right. French colonial homes are these ones, again, you see them in the southern United States typically. They have stuccoed exteriors usually, big gigantic pillars like this. There's a couple in my neighborhood that look like this actually, but they're uncommon in Nova Scotia. They're more common. And again, going back to the beginning of our school year, it's a reference to outdoor living area. So if you have a home where you want to spend a lot of time outside, you're going to build your roof overhang so it covers more area, so you can be outside in warm weather, but when it's raining or in the hot sun or anything like that. So anyway, anything with a lot of large white pillars and roof overhang is going to qualify you as a French colonial. All right, Victorian. A lot of Victorian houses in Nova Scotia. They're narrow and tall typically. They're easily identifiable with towers and turrets like this, right? They have big bay windows oftentimes like this. or like this. Sometimes they have stained glass, a lot of ornamentation. And so now when we talk about ornamentation, and we talk about how like the Cape Cods, they're very like conservative and plain. Victorian houses are the opposite of that. They have a ton of decoration, ornamentation, little details, you know, and for a typical homeowner, that means a lot of extra maintenance. But that was the style. They're also asymmetrical in design. What that means is that, for example, if you drew a line down the center, one side of the house is not the same as the other, right? The door is off to one side. You have a turret off to one side, that kind of thing. So, and then this is just where I bring you over to complete your quiz from around the valley. All right, so there's your little lecture on exterior design. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Don't be afraid to reach out and let me know how I can help you. This is due 1 week from today, Friday. Have fun, enjoy, and we'll see you in a week. Thanks a lot.